Welcome to week 4 of our Connected Communities series. This week, we'll be focusing on art therapy and ways that we can express our emotions using visual arts.
Hello, everyone. Today we will talk about how art can help express emotions. Art is a diverse form of self-expression. Through music, dance, drama, poetry, writing, and other forms of creativity, people can help express their emotions, tell stories, share experiences, and connect with others. Visual art is a unique form of creative arts. Through visual arts, one has a multitude of options to express themselves. A person could paint, draw, mold sculptures, or share a collage to convey their message. The wide range of methods for self-expression makes art a useful tool to help traumatic experiences. As we know through this series, trauma can impact the brain, which can impact other areas of our lives, such as speech. In these cases, and others, art can be used as a way to communicate. Through visual arts, a person could, for example, draw something to explain their experiences, or they could paint something to bring themselves comfort. The act of creating art can also be a therapeutic method of healing in and of itself by helping to develop self-esteem, building resilience, and resolving inner conflicts. Art is a wonderful way to discover more about oneself. We hope that this process can help you to understand more about yourself and that this unlocks long-term benefits for you, your mental health, and your journey of growth. Thank you.
This week, we'll be joined by Ashytn Ford. Ashytn Ford is one of the co-founders of an art therapy clinic in Toronto called Full Circle Art Therapy Center, which has been in operation since 2014. Full Circle's mission is to provide affordable mental health support to different communities in the GTA through art therapy services. Ashytn is a registered art therapist and psychotherapist. Ashytn provides one-on-one and group support through art therapy, mindfulness, and somatic therapy interventions. Ashytn specializes in working with people who have experienced abuse and trauma, as well as folks who deal with common mental health struggles like anxiety and depression. Ashytn believes that everyone is resilient and has the ability to heal and grow.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashytn Ford. I am a registered art therapist and a registered psychotherapist. I use they, them pronouns, and I am one of the co-founders of Full Circle Art Therapy Center. I'm honored to be a part of the Revitaled Connections Communities project for intimate partner violence survivors. And today I will be running a webinar workshop which will focus on self-regulation through art therapy. Before we begin the workshop, I just want to acknowledge the privilege of being here together, to learn from each other and create alongside one another virtually, and to take a moment to connect with the land we're currently on, acknowledging the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples, the caretakers and the stewards of this land who called it home before the arrival of settlers. Myself and Full Circle Art Therapy Center are currently located in Toronto on the traditional land of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Huron-Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee, the Chippewa, and the Métis, a land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. So before we begin, I'll just go over a few things that you'll need to know. So I'm just going to split my screen here for a moment. So one thing is getting your art materials ready. So for the workshop today, any kind of paper works. I have printer paper here today. But if you have other kinds, you can use that as well. Excuse me. You can also use markers. You can use pencil crayons. Or if you would like, you can use collage imagery or stickers or whatever you have. Just feel free to use whatever present for you. I've had people before only have highlighters and pens or pencil. That's okay too. We'll work with what you have. And a couple other things to know, in terms of art therapy, it really is about the process, the art making experience, what you can learn about yourself or how you feel as you're interacting with the art. It's not about creating a specific quality of artwork, creating the perfect image. So try to let go of any judgments you may have around your art making abilities, because art therapy is accessible to anyone at any artistic level. So with that said, just try to have fun and to connect with your creative process and following your natural instincts and connecting with the art and expressing through the art. So before we actually begin our first directive, there's just a couple of terms I wanted to go over just to provide more context for the workshop. So as I mentioned before, this is an art therapy workshop, and for anyone who, maybe this is your first time doing an art therapy workshop, I'll just go over a definition of what it is, and this comes from the Canadian Art Therapy Association. So art therapy combines the creative process and psychotherapy, facilitating, psychotherapy is like talking, facilitating self-exploration and understanding. Using imagery, color, and shapes as part of this creative therapeutic process, thoughts and feelings can be expressed that would otherwise be difficult to articulate. Art therapy is effective for people of any age. All right, so art is an extension of the expression, and talking can also happen as well if you are with a art therapist facilitating sessions. Today we're doing this virtually in a webinar, so that won't be taking place, but there will be time for reflection through the journaling as well, what came up through your process. A couple of other things I just wanted to touch on before we begin. As I mentioned, this workshop is going to be focusing on using the art for self-regulation skills and for grounding. So what do those two terms mean? Grounding is essentially just whatever can keep you in the here and now focus, what connects you to your body and your mind. And art is great for that because you are connecting with your body to make the decisions, of what colors you want to use, what shapes, lines, imagery, words, etc. So it is using your motor skills and functioning to be able to translate that in the art, and also reflecting on your mind and what you want to express through the art. Secondly, self-regulation is the ability to calm yourself and your nervous system reactions. So there might be things like racing heartbeat, if you're feeling nervous, racing thoughts, even perspiration, or maybe you feel the opposite, decrease in energy, lack of connection with the body, things like that. So those are things related to your nervous system and the reactions to stress. So self-regulation is the ability to notice when those things are happening, be able to do certain things or activities that can calm or slow down those nervous body reactions or mind reactions. And be able to then bring you into a place of feeling stable in your body and mind, and being able to move through your day as you would if you were not feeling activation, or at least at a level where you can, not feel so overwhelmed that it takes over your ability to do other things or be in the present moment. All right, so let's get to the art. So we'll be doing 3 different exercises today. So you'll need 3 sheets of paper. And again, any art materials like, again, markers, pencil, crayons, a pencil, pen, collage, whatever you have is totally fine to use. So let's introduce the first directive we'll be doing. This is a good art directive to use just to check in with yourself, like checking in how you're feeling, which is so important in terms of self-regulation, getting to be able to build skills around pausing, checking in with yourself and how you're feeling is really the first step of being able to self-regulate. So with this directive, it is a weather check-in, or weather pattern check-in rather. So you're going to represent how you're feeling currently using the metaphor of weather. So for example, maybe if you're feeling really happy, your weather pattern is a full sunny day. In terms of the weather, if you're feeling kind of gloomy or sad today, maybe it's like a gray, cloudy day. Or maybe there's even rain if you're feeling really sad. So just thinking of your mood in terms of, how different weather shows up. And we'll have 10 minutes to do this using your piece of paper and your materials. And again, don't worry about how your artwork is turning out. This is really about developing a new relationship with art and using it for your mental health and well-being. So don't worry about what the images are looking like. These are things that you're going to learn how to use them and use them again in the future. All right, so I'll also be doing the exercise here in my other screen. So you have a visual example as well, and we'll have 10 minutes to do the first exercise. All right, I hope you enjoy. you feel complete with your art, you may also want to just take a few minutes, either writing a few sentences on top of it or on the back here, just about one, how are you feeling? What emotions does this image depict for you? So looking at the emotions present, listing those, and the why. Why are you feeling this way? Okay, so you can reflect on those two questions. What emotions are present? Why are you feeling this way? If you're done with your artwork, if you feel more connected with the art process and just want to keep working on it, that's okay too. We'll just give you a few minutes to do whichever one feels right to you. Okay, so you can finish up this piece, and then I'm going to introduce the second exercise we'll do today. This one integrates mindfulness of connecting with your natural breath, as well as the art making. So what you'll need for this one is a new sheet of paper, or if you want to conserve paper, you can use the back of your other sheet of paper from the first exercise. It's up to you. And you'll need one colored art material to represent your breath. I'm going to choose a light blue marker. That's all you need for art materials. And then I'll just describe the process before we begin. So I'm just going to first guide us into a mindful stance, connecting with your body and the space around you, then connecting with your natural breath. And then I will verbally prompt you or direct you to moving your attention to your paper and art material. And then you'll spend 2 to 3 minutes connecting with your breath and extending your breath onto the paper. So I'm going to show you an example before we even begin. So there's a couple ways of drawing your breath. You may either want to just draw a line for your exhalation for each breath that you connect with. So just breathing in and breathing out. So you might want to do this if you appreciate having more structure, or if you want something a bit more organic, what you can do is as you're connecting with your breath, you're just going to simply move with it onto the paper, however that feels. So maybe it looks, smooth progression, kind of like loops. Or perhaps it feels kind of spiky and jagged, your in and out breath. Or maybe it feels a bit disorganized. Whatever comes up for you is totally fine. But yeah, just go with what you think might feel right to you. And we'll try out this practice of mindful breath drawing. All right, so we'll just begin by getting in a comfortable seated position in your chair or wherever you're seated currently. And then just taking a moment to adjust your posture so you're not restricting your breath in any way. And then just noticing where the soles of your feet are making contact with the floor. And noticing where your body is being supported by your chair, and where it's making contact with your chair. And just shifting your attention to any sounds in the room that may be calling your awareness at this time. And then just gently moving your awareness inward to meet the natural rhythm of your breath. And just noticing its natural ebb and flow as you breathe in and breathe out. Simply observing how it moves through you naturally in this moment, and not trying to change it in any way, just allowing your breath to be as it is. And then whenever you feel like you have a connection with your breath, have a gentle focus in its natural ebb and flow, you can then move your attention to the paper in front of you and the art material you've selected to draw your breath. And for the next 2 to 3 minutes, you're just going to continue the process of connecting with your natural breath and moving with your breath onto the paper in one of the 2 ways that I showed previously. So either the lines for your exhalation or just following it naturally and spontaneously onto the paper. All right, hope you enjoy. And while you're doing this, just notice if your mind wanders at any time. And if it does, just take a moment to pause and just recognize that your mind has wandered without any judgment. And then just try to redirect your attention back to your breath and back to sensation of the material in your hand, and continuing to follow your breath onto the paper with your art material. And just continuing this practice for another moment or so. And then eventually you can just come to a mindful pause in the practice. And just taking a moment to sit back. Just taking a moment to observe your breath drawing. And just noticing what thoughts or reactions come up as you greet your breath drawing. Just noticing if it maybe tells you something about your breath, how it feels to connect with it, or any other reactions that may come up. And then when you're ready, we'll just reconnect for a moment. And yeah, for this breath drawing practice, if it was helpful for you, it is a very good self-regulation tool. One, because it connects you with your breath, which is a great natural resource for grounding and self-regulation. When we connect with our breath, sometimes, not all the time, it can help us begin to relax, take deeper breaths over time, which actually sends signals to our body that we are no longer at threat of harm and can help us calm our nervous system. Secondly, being able to use your drawing materials while doing that is another grounding. It's a physical grounding element, visual grounding element of your breath. So it just adds more grounding and self-regulation tools on top of just connecting to your breath without the physical and visual elements. So let's go on to our last exercise then, which is also related to self-regulation. So you'll just need a new sheet of paper. Again, you can use any materials you would like. For this one, I might integrate collage as well as my markers and drawing. So for this directive, it is called Soothing Circles. And what you'll start out with is creating just a couple of large circles on your piece of paper. They don't have to look perfect. The whole idea is that you're making a large enough space to be able to create inside of. And what you're going to put inside of these circles are things that you find soothing as you connect with them. So it could either be more abstract things, like maybe it's using certain colors that you really like and enjoy and just have positive association with or positive connection with. Or maybe it's certain patterns that you find soothing to create. Just doing that inside the circles. Maybe it's certain shapes you associate with calm or stability. Or it could be more specific things. Maybe it's a specific image or image to represent something that makes you feel calm that comes to mind. And doing that for multiple things that you think about that brings you a sense of ease. Could also include words or phrases. Whatever comes to mind is completely fine. If you're using collage, maybe it's imagery that you connect with and gives you a sense of ease or feels soothing to work with. Okay, so we'll have 10 minutes to work on this, and then we'll close up our session for today. All right, I hope you enjoyed the soothing circles. Right, so we'll finish up the soothing circles, or if you need more time, since this is a webinar, you can pause and continue working on them. But yeah, this is helpful for reorienting your mind and visually connecting with things that bring you calm and ease, and again can help you regulate your nervous system and help you with self-regulation. So now to close the workshop today, we're going to do some journal reflections, just taking a couple of minutes just to reflect on the process today. The 3 exercises. What did you notice? Was it helpful in terms of self-regulation or helping you stay in the here and now, feel more relaxed or at ease? Just reflecting on what came up for you and just writing a couple of sentences about this. Just a reminder of what directives we did. The first one was the weather pattern or mood check-in and how you were feeling. The second was the breath drawing. And just now was the soothing circles. So just write a few sentences, maybe about each one and how it felt to interact with those exercises. Okay, so we'll finish up the journal reflections, or again, you can pause and continue working on them. But we'll come to a close in the session. I hope this was informative in terms of how art therapy can help with self-regulation. I hope some of these exercises were helpful in terms of creating more ease for you today. You can replicate them if they were helpful and just use them as a coping skill for the future. So thank you everyone for your participation in this workshop and taking time to focus on your mental health care through art therapy. If you have any questions about the workshop, you can email me, Ashytn Ford, and the email you can contact me at is info@fullcircleapp.com. FCArtTC.com. And you can also check us out on social media. Our handle is at FCArtTherapy.org on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, etc. Or you can also check out our website at fullcircleatc.com. All right, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.